Hey everybody, my name is Sharon Quinn and I'm also known as the original Runway Diva, and you are watching Model Behavior. Class is officially in session. My guest lecturer today is Anthony Morgan, who in addition to being a multi-talented artist in his own right, he is the founder of Anthony Morgan's Inspirational Choir of Harlem. Welcome, Anthony, to Model Behavior. Now, Anthony, you brought a guest whose name I just forgot, so I'm just going to ask you to say it on camera. What's your name, honey?
My name is Olivia Hunter.
And what do you do with Anthony?
Well, I work with Anthony from time to time with his choir, Anthony Morgan's Inspirational Choir of Harlem. We go way back.
All right. Now, Anthony, you and I we were discussing this off camera, we go
way
back.
back.
Selwyn Rawls, Eternal Light, Gospel Chorus. How did you, now, was that like a natural transition from like Eternal Light doing what you do now?
No, it wasn't. I didn't even plan it. I just, I met Selwyn running around the streets, hanging out and stuff like that. And he just said, you know, come on to my choir and sing. I said, I've never sang before.
Oh, you didn't sing?
No,
Okay.
no. I started when I went to college by mistake. I discovered I could sing.
How do you find out you could sing by mistake?
One of the guys in the play was got sick, and they said, well, can you fill in for him? And I was like, I guess so, and just started singing the song, and they were like, oh my God, you can sing.
Oh. So now, how did you come up with the idea to even do the gospel choir thing on your own?
Okay. I used to hang out in the clubs all the time.
Who didn't? Okay.
And I heard Tremaine Hawkins fall down on me.
Yes.
Fall down on me. And I said, whoa, that music is different than club music. And I said, I want to go to California. So I left and went to California and went to her church, which was Love Center Church at the time with Walter Hawkins, and fell in love with gospel music.
So you just picked up your thing, you just packed up and just decided you was going?
Yes.
And you joined the church? Did you get to sing with her?
I didn't join.
You didn't join, you just went to see?
Right, and I joined the Love Center Mass Choir.
Okay.
With Edwin Hawkins Mass Choir.
Well, what was that experience like?
Wonderful. They teach vocal training, technique, how to dress, how to behave. The seminar is every June, at the end of every June.
And they
Last
still
week.
do this now?
They still do this now. It's coming up this June, I think the 26th to the 7th of July.
Okay,
it's
so
gonna be in Chicago.
You did the Love Center choir thing. When did you decide, when did the light bulb go off and you said, okay, I need to do this on for myself and, you know, go around the country touring and stuff like that? How did that idea come into play?
When I was let go at my job. After 27 years, they laid us all off. Our boss passed away. And so I said, okay, what do I do? I don't do anything else. I've been here for 27 years. So I said, okay, I can sing. And I took all the experience that I learned from the Edwin Hawkins seminar, Selwyn Rawls, community singers that we were with, and other choirs, Martin Luther King Choir, the Gents of New York, and just said, okay, Olivia, I need your help, and some other people, I need your help. Let's do this thing, and let's start doing it. And I just got all my friends who weren't working, and we just started singing.
Now, it's just interesting to me how the Creator will make a way, even when that wasn't anything that you thought in your mind that you would do.
It wasn't something I wanted to do.
And the Creator was like, okay, so you're not using the gifts I gave you. So yeah, I'm just gonna mix this up for you. So you have no choice but to do what it is that I put you here to do. So now how does that, of course you can't just put a choir together and then the contacts are right there. So how did you get the contacts to get overseas and tour and do all that stuff?
Okay. At my church, Memorial Baptist Church, I joined the choir there after I came back from California. And because I missed that sound, but I couldn't find that same sound, that California sound. So Memorial was close to it, and we just started there. And then Miss McClarity, who was one of the piano players there, she used to sing with Mahalia Jackson, who's still alive today. She told me to join a choir, and I joined that choir and started touring, and got the opportunity to start my own. And I just went from there.
And how many countries have you been to date? I mean,
Oh my
I know that's a really
gosh.
broad question, but you've been all over the world.
The world, yeah. I've been, gosh.
Every continent man can step on.
Yeah.
So now, how do you find your singers? Now, I know when you first started, you said you just took your friends that was unemployed that you knew could sing. How do you have open auditions, or how does that work?
Sometimes I do, but most of the times I don't like what I hear, because the singers don't sing like they used to back in
And
the day.
what's the difference between, say, auditioning singers 20 years ago? Maybe I'm going too far back, or as opposed to now. What's the difference for you? You said it doesn't sound the same.
The singers today want to just do riffing. They think riffing is the thing. That's not the word. That's not telling a story. That's just acrobats. Like Luther Vandross just said, that's just acrobats. All that riffing, you know. It's like, that's not telling a story. I need a story. Tell me something. Teach me something in the word. You know, and that's what I loved about the California people. They tell a story. That's why their songs are still strong today. Tell the story. You got to learn how to tell a story in your singing. If you're just doing acrobats, that's not, what is that
Oh, I saw
teaching
you.
me?
You not tell me. I so agree with you.
Yeah.
Now, Olivia,
Yes.
what's your experience been like? Have you been on tour with,
Oh,
with the
yes.
choir?
I've
Tell me
been
what your
all
experience has
over
been
the
like
world.
as a singer working for this man.
Well, working with Anthony is a joy. I learned pretty much everything I know about singing and touring from this man here. He's like the godfather.
Remember when you first came?
Yes, my first day with the choir we met with, I hadn't had any rehearsal. All they did was give me a CD the week before. I was like him. I was green. I had never sung. All I did was sing my group with my girls I grew up with at church. So we get up there on the stage, and Anthony told me that, he said, you were so stiff. I said, I was stiff? He said, yeah. He said, but let me see if this girl can move. He said, so I raised my hand. And he said, you raised your hand too. And he said, okay, she got something. So I'll never forget that. And he told me how to conduct yourself on tour, make sure you get your rest, how to eat. You know, it was.
Well, since you brought that up,
Yes.
how do you get yourself prepared to be on tour?
Sleep.
A
And
lot
that
of
was
rest, a lot of
water.
water. Everywhere you go, carry a humidifier.
Why is that important?
Your vocal cords need to stay moist at all times. Keep a humidifier with you, a small portable
and a
one.
scarf.
A scarf.
A scarf.
Cover your head, a dry t-shirt everywhere you go. Every time you leave a show, put on a dry t-shirt. Cut a dry hat.
And those things will preserve you over time. And, you know, touring, you could be on the road for two, 3 months. And pretty bottom line, people are paying to see a show.
And this
So
is
you have to
rules to
deliver.
live by
Oh,
on
yeah.
the
yes.
road.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And you remember when Mama Wanna Sing, you have to know when to leave the party? You can go to the party.
Say
but you
that
have to, you have to know
again.
when to leave the party.
So my rule of thumb was when Anthony left, I left.
Now, how do you know when to leave the party?
When you've said hello to everybody and you said, okay, I made my appearance. Everybody know I was there. It's time to go. See y'all. Good night.
Because the bottom line is you have to be rested vocally
For the next day.
for
to
the
do
next
it.
show.
That's right.
And sometimes
to
you have to
tour.
do 2 shows.
Yeah.
Oh wow, 2 shows in a
And
night.
sometimes travel in a one day. It could be an 8-day travel. 8-hour travel and do a show that night. So you need to be rested at all times.
And I will say that was a learning lesson for me when we went to Lithuania, Latvia, that whole area, because that was my first time, my first big tour. I didn't know, we did 2 shows one day. And it was the first time I understood the difference between ministry and a performance.
What's the difference?
Ministry, you're telling the gospel. The gospel is the good news of Christ. You are telling that story. Performance is the show. You know, you put it on even though you don't feel good, you know, but there is a true difference. And when you minister, that drains you. So that's why rest is important too. You go back, you read your words, you pray, you get revved up again for the next time because you're feeding and it's coming from somewhere.
Okay.
And you at that point are the source.
I like her. She can
Yes.
stay.
Yes.
You put that very, very, very well put.
Thank you.
Now, let me ask you this. I'm gonna just play devil's advocate. You have a hard time enforcing those?
Oh, yes. I have a rule. I have a set of rules that you have to have for your group. You have to have a set of rules and say, this, carry this, do not do that, do not do this. You have to be on time, and you have to set fines
Okay.
and get someone to enforce those fines.
It's because when you hit them in the pocket, then they shape up.
They shape up.
Now, all right. So I ask all my guests, and you've been doing this. You in double-digit years, so I know you got some. Give me a horror story.
Ooh.
And I know you got a couple.
Yeah, loaning people money. Loaning people money is a big horror story I have. People have put me into $36,000 in debt from loaning out money, and they're still out there, and they know who they are.
I don't know anybody I like enough to let get away with that much.
But when people are singing with you, I feel like they're my family because I'm on tour. That's my family with me. So when I see them going through problems, it hurts me. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, well, here's a credit card to help you, whatever, along the way.
And people take advantage of that?
Of course they do. And that's why I learned never work with close friends. You keep people at a business length. Even though Olivia's a friend, she's a businesswoman, and she keeps me on point when it comes to stuff like that. It's like, it's business, Anthony. No credit cards for this person. Don't pay this person's rent. Don't help do that.
But his heart is always in the right place
I know.
with that.
Because we've had this conversation on the train, and I will say this: don't change who you are. You just gotta you gotta just adjust.
Right.
For whoever it is that happens to be in your face. But that heart that God gave you, don't change that.
That's right.
Yeah,
Anthony.
but people will make you they'll make you come out of character and not.
yeah.
That is the God honest truth.
Yeah. So now, all right, so you're on the road, you're doing your thing, you got your people, they ready for bed and all this other stuff. Do you have issues? Because I know, and I'm coming from a modeling point of view, my biggest pet peeve with models is models who discuss financial stuff. Like, I'm getting paid this. What are you getting paid? That's in poor taste for me as a model. You don't discuss that.
But isn't that the rule of thumb? You never discuss
But
that
it
on
happens,
any job?
right? But you'd be surprised at how many people
Okay.
will
Wow.
throw that out there.
Okay.
And then once you find out that somebody maybe is making a little more than you, then they right up in your face.
Right.
Does that happen to you?
That's happened to me once early in the career, and I learned, don't do that again. Everybody gets paid the same.
I will agree
That's
with
it.
that. That's how you.
And then
Keep peace.
Yeah.
everybody gets paid the same, and then if you do a certain job, then you may get something for that particular job. Pay everybody the same. If you're the prayer warrior, you may get something for that. If you are the choir director, you get something extra for that. That's it.
Okay. Now, do you keep the same people in rotation, or do you say go on let's say a 2-month tour, and then you come back? Do you refresh the
Okay.
group, or how does that work, or is it the same rotation?
I've learned to try to rotate because some people will get too familiar with you.
Go ahead, talk
Sister
about that.
B always talks to me about that. You can't let people get too familiar, especially because of, like Olivia says, my heart. I get close to people, and some people take advantage of that. So I try to rotate people and keep it going. Musicians, have one musician go on one trip, another musician go on another trip, like that. Just
So
keep
you
it
have a
going.
pool of musicians
yeah.
and vocalists
Oh, yeah.
that you pull from. So
Colin Love, my keyboard player.
Colin, I
Colin
think I
Love.
know.
Yeah, he used to play for
Yeah,
years ago.
Yeah, I think I know who that is.
Yes.
So
Now,
talented.
do you? You said you don't like auditioning because you don't like the quality of talent that you
Yeah.
get.
I don't.
So, but how do you find people? Do you just
I've been
randomly
s-
hear them sing? Do you go to open mics?
And Anthony knows everyone. Oh
Yes,
my
I know.
Lord.
Yeah, I've been part of choirs that had 500 voices. So I just sit back and I listen. That's the key. My sister Denise Morgan told me, always listen. Keep your mouth shut and just listen. So I'll sit there and I'll just be listening to people's voices and go, oh, that person can sing right there, or this one can sing.
Now, what is it that qualifies, in your mind, when you say that person is a good singer?
They know how to tell a story.
They gotta make you feel it.
They have to believe what you sing. I don't care what kind of music it is. You have to make me believe it. Make me believe it, and I want to see that you know how to tell a story just by singing some words.
Now, is that something, a talent, a skill you can learn, or is that something that is just innate?
think you
It's
can
something
learn. I
you
think you can
come here
learn
with.
I think you can absolutely learn it. I work once a year. I do Yonkers Idol. I'm from Yonkers, New York, and I've been a judge for the past 8 years. And I've worked with some of the kids along the way. I'm like, you got to tell that story. I'll never forget one young lady that I worked with. She did that, and she ended up winning that year. And she came back. She said, Olivia, I remember what you told me. And she said, and I told my story, and I said, I could see and feel your story. And she won. You got to win the audience. If you can make people relate to you, that's what it's all about. In their soul.
And that translates into fashion as well. I always tell my plus size models, because this is my experience.
Okay.
If you hit that runway and they're not cheering for you and they're not screaming for you,
Okay.
you haven't done your job.
Oh, wow.
You haven't done your job. And it's the same thing with
Wow.
you, because half the audience is going to look like you 9 times out of 10. So they
Okay.
should be cheering you on. And if you're getting this with the phones and they're not even looking at you, you have not done your job as a model. You have to reach down inside of you and sell the clothing you're wearing, whether you like it or not. And I think that's the
Wow.
same thing that applies to singing, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at you because I'm about to ask you to give me 16 bars. So sing something real quick.
There is a place we'll go where there is mostly quiet. Flowers and butterflies, rainbow leaves beside it, and from a velvet sky, summer snow, I can feel the coolness in the air, but I'm still warm.
All right now, okay. See, you ain't gonna be showing me up on my own show. Bravo.
Thank
You know how many people I would throw that out and they were like,
No, he taught me better.
you a singer.
God is good.
Yeah. All right.
I
So
learned from the best.
you gonna sing something, man?
I can.
Yes.
Come on, give me some.
I know that you've invested a lot, and your return has been slow. You throw up your hands and said, I give up, and I can't take this anymore. But I hear the Spirit say that it is your time, and the wait is over. So walk into your season.
You better sing.
Yes.
I don't know. When is the last time I heard you sing something?
No one has heard me sing.
I'm
I was just always in the
I don't think
choir.
I've ever heard you sing before.
Like I told you, my sister always says, shut up. And I shut my mouth and I just listened to everybody.
All right. So what? Now I know you said you have a gospel brunch that's coming up, but like, where's the next tour going? How can I be there?
We're leaving out, planning it now, actually. I don't want to say when because we have enemies.
Okay, I hear
You
that.
have to be really mindful of that.
I got you.
Singers, be mindful of that. You can't tell everything. You have to be really secretive.
And this is
sometimes.
and it's hard to do
Yeah.
in a social media driven
It
world.
is.
This is what we talked about
And
earlier.
this is gospel.
Yeah. Everything is out on the internet immediately. Sometimes you just got to keep your cards close to your chest. And I don't think that this generation understands that
No,
really.
they don't.
And they suffer for it.
Oh yes, yeah, because you can't take it back. Once you put it out there, it's forever. It take me a half a second to screenshot some foolishness that you
You know how
just
many
did.
people I've taken on tour, and they'll call the person and say, "Listen, I could do it for less money."
See,
That happens all the time. But you don't cut your throat. You cut everybody's throat at that point.
and that happens. This happens a lot.
Oh gosh, this happens every day. This just happened 2 days ago to me. But
But do people actually go for that?
if they are a greedy agent or a greedy promoter who wants to keep most of the money, yes.
Oh wow!
Happens all the time.
So it happens in modeling too.
Wow,
They
I didn't know that.
They'll put agencies against agencies in a minute. Now, where's the tour going though? You have to tell me when it is, but where's it going?
This year, I've already been booked again in Italy. This will be going on to my 9th year.
Okay.
My 9th year of going back to Italy.
And how long do you go
Denmark.
to Italy for?
Usually Italy, like 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna do Denmark. We did 5 countries last year. I want
Nice.
to top it this year.
Now let me ask you. Okay, so I'm sitting here playing in my head, going, I haven't been to Italy in a long time. How can I
'Cause
get
you sing. Why
get
don't you
on
sing a
call-
little something? Let me sing something.
You know. But how? Okay, see, here goes my little brain fart. I just forgot what I was gonna say to you.
That's when we hit a certain age. We do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and I have these a lot. So you said Italy and then Denmark. Is it possible? How do you just do that
Okay.
and not have a job? Do you need a job to supplement this? That's what I'm asking.
I'm saying
You can, if you have the right agent who's smart, they will keep you working all year long. But some agents are not that smart, and they want to have you, this person, that person, and that way they get to save more money, but you as an artist
Are still
can't-
struggling.
are struggling.
Yeah.
So, but if you have a smart agent who invests their time, and a management who invests their time in you, and you find somebody that you can invest their time in and just trust each other, you can build an empire.
Okay. Because I mean,
Done it many times, and I've been with people.
And this is
we've
all you
helped
do?
them build them. Yes, this is all.
This
I
is
do.
all you do now,
For the
right?
past 8 years. This is all I've done since IMG. Let Us All Go. This is all I've done, and everybody who I worked with at IMG kept saying, "You need to leave. You need to go. You need to go. This place is holding you back, Anthony." But they always let me go when a tour came up. But when they finally let me go, when they let all of us go.
this is IMG Models?
Yeah,
Or-
IMG worldwide. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you do for them, if you don't
I
mind?
was the receptionist, then I worked for the mailroom, and then I did everything.
Wow. I did not know that.
Oh, yes.
And I have to tell you, I have to say this, somebody told Anthony, oh, you shouldn't go on the show because you don't have an educational background.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you that.
You haven't been to college. And I said, that is ridiculous. I said, how many people are in the industry that have never stepped foot on a college campus, didn't complete high school?
Can't even read and still
Look at Fantasia
successful.
Barrino and look at her now. And now she has her own organization for
Look at
illiteracy.
Floyd Mayweather with his non-reading behind.
Oh, yeah,
with
that's
stacks and stacks
unfortunate.
and stacks of money.
That's right. You
And
know.
still won't pay to learn
But
how
I-
to read. Come on, boo. Come on. Get it together now.
But I think it's important for people to know that because there may be some people thinking, oh God, I gotta go here, I gotta go there, I gotta get this degree and that degree. Everybody's path is different.
And I always ask people about education. I have had designers on here who said the school is good to get technical knowledge, but it's not imperative to success. And I think that's probably the case with everything. I think a lot of times the universe just sort of throws you
You need
in
hands-on training.
where you're supposed to be. Because you could go back, you could flip through Sharon's high school yearbook. Model was not up underneath my picture. That was something that I stumbled onto and just kind of discovered that I could take a pretty photograph. And that's the key to modeling. You can be pretty and not take a good
It's true.
photograph.
It is so true.
So I found out I was photogenic.
And you can be
that-
ugly.
And take a great
Yes,
picture.
'cause
Yeah.
you
So
have-
it's all relative. It's really crazy that you spend all that time working at a modeling agency, and the thing that clearly feeds your soul is the talent you were sitting on
Right.
under.
Right.
Yeah. So it's life is strange. So what are your next moves? you got your gospel choir, you're doing the tour thing, you're living well. So what's next on the horizon for you? You got another?
Well, I just decided to add young people to the choir.
Oh, you don't have young people
I
in
didn't
it?
have young people before.
He's
I
got
didn't
some
want to work with
awesomely talented kids.
I didn't want to work with young people too much, but to tour because of their age, one. But this year I decided to take some minors with me, 17 to 24, I think it was,
Okay.
on this last tour, and it was hands-on training. We got them out on stage, threw them out there, and it was like with the videos with Steve Harvey, says you're either going to jump,
Come on now.
and that's it. You're either going to jump, you're going to sink, or you're going to fly. And those kids flew. I was in tears. Sister B, Hortensia, Wendell, we and Derek, we sat there and we watched these kids fly. Because the day of the show the biggest show we were about to open up, a close friend, Paulette, she's a high fashion model, passed away.
Oh.
And Sister B and myself, we were the two strongest ones in the show, that particular show. We were torn up. We couldn't even get on stage correctly. And the kids were like, uh-oh, what do we do? And the kids took over the show. And
All right.
that's when I realized hands-on training. They watched us for so many years. I never took them on stage with me, but I want them to go from now on.
And Anthony's tours in themselves include lessons to the countries they're in. People can come
We do
to
master
workshops.
classes, yes.
Okay. All
Teach
right.
So it's
master
all
classes.
encompassing.
All right, we almost, I got my sign, so I know we're almost out of time. Tell me your website real quick. You got a website?
Amico.com. Anthony Morgan, Inspirational Choir of Harlem.com.
You have a website, Miss Olivia?
No, not yet.
All right. Well, like I said, we are almost out of time. I would like to take this moment to thank my guests, Mr. Anthony Morgan and Miss Olivia
Thank you for having me,
Hunter,
Hunter.
for sharing their industry knowledge with us today. Now, before I go, I'd like to leave you with a few thoughts. One, I want you to remember that you can't change the game until you first learn the game. Always surround yourself with positive people and positive things. Do what you love and love what you do. And lastly, be who you are, but be who you are tastefully. Always have a little class about yourself. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.